In your view, why is the Naira so significantly depreciated? I mean, it's a little bit better today, but not much. It's still above 159.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. Of course, as you rightly said, we have continued to see a consistent devaluation of the Naira. Of course, if we look at the past auctions for the past couple of weeks, we've seen the trend in demand consistently outstripping supply from CBN. That was with the exception of the last auction where we saw CBN fairly meeting demand considerably. Apart from that, we've seen huge demand from big corporates, considering the time of the year and considering that the year is fast grinding to a close. Of course, we're beginning to see demand associated with this time of the year is usually quite high.
So do you expect the Naira to continue on its trend of depreciation then?
Yes, that would be two things. One will depend on tomorrow. We have another auction, so the level of supply the CBN is willing to inject into the system would go a long way to know the direction of the market. And if you look at it independently, you will find out that what analysts have been saying regarding the CBN's ability to sustain a stable exchange rate, considering the less than optimum accretion we have into our reserves, and of course the external factors with the global economic crisis as a drawback.
What's your view? Because some analysts, as you said, are concerned that the CBN just doesn't have the resolve, it just doesn't have the capacity to keep on defending the Naira within its range of 150 Naira, give or take 3%. There is a sense that it can only realistically do that for maybe another year. It's probably time to let the market decide the value of the Naira. What's your view?
Well, clearly you can see that that range is no longer achievable. Last week we've seen CBN breaching that oscillatory bandwidth of plus or minus 3%. That clearly shows you this enormous pressure that CBN is facing in terms of demand and pressure on reserves. So it's a question of fundamentals. We found out that it's not a question of policy-driven issues. It's a question of weak fundamentals and structural defects that we have in our economy as peculiar as Nigeria. Considering how monocultural we are as a nation and our sole dependence on oil imports, if we do not get our structures right. Look at Nigeria, for example. We are far from self-sufficiency when it comes to energy. So that is the fundamental problem. It's a structural problem, and it's beyond anything that has to do with policy-driven mechanisms. And solely beyond CBN as a regulatory body.